Hello, my name is Matthew, and a couple weeks ago I read Steppenwolf by Herman Hesse, translated by Kurt Beals, and it has been a few weeks since I had read it, but I'm making videos right now and kind of just in the mood, and I might not be able to remember everything, but I thought I would talk about it. The reason I picked this up is not that it's a new translation. I saw it at the bookstore, and I picked it up, and of course on the back we have Steve Donahue, and I'm actually quite pleased that I'm creating a little bit of a Steve Donahue blurbed book collection, and it didn't disappoint. This book was terrific. You could say it's a magic carpet ride. I had read this before, and I read the cover that I'm sure everybody is familiar with, and I remember not being all that impressed with it. I don't know why, it's been way too long for me to remember, but this one felt much more energized and immediate, and lively, and when it needs to get dark and when it needs to get far out, it goes completely bonkers. And so, just like some of these stories where you have to buy in to the premise, like Kafka stories, like he wakes up and he's an insect. Let's just accept that and move on. This one we have, what was the guy's name? Is it Haller? Harry Haller? Harry Haller. The main character's name is Harry Haller. HH, just like Herman Hesse. And Harry Haller is a wolf in a literal sense. He believes that he has a dual soul. So he's a man, he's also a wolf, and he's open about it, talks about it. Other characters just accept that he's a man and a wolf, eccentric. And the story goes on. The beginning of the story, we have this eccentric wolf character. He's a renter, and it begins from the point of view of like the landlady's relative or the landlady's helper or something. And he's such a curious figure. He's the guy telling us about the eccentric Harry Haller. And this guy is quite peculiar just on his own. Very quickly, he's now breaking in to Harry Haller's apartment while he's out, investigating, going through his things, trying to learn more about this person. He comes across this treatise that is something that Schopenhauer might have written if he was on acid or something. And I really wish, for my own curiosity, I really wish we could have spent more time with this interloper character spying on Harry Haller the wolf. And Harry Haller, in a lot of ways, reminds me of the Underground character. We see him just shambling through the streets, and he's having psychological breakdowns, and he's thinking about suicide, and he's cursing himself for not having the courage to die and not having the courage to live, and he has this wolf inside of him. But he comes across this woman. He goes into a nightclub, and he collapses into a chair next to this woman. And now I'm not going to remember her name. And at this point, I was getting maybe a little tired or ready to kind of move on with some of the psychological craziness that was happening. And this woman, this character, was such a bright spot in the novel because they have this confrontational conversation where he is just completely self-absorbed and self-possessed, and he's just thinking about himself, and everything is going totally inward, and he's talking to this woman, and she's just batting this stuff away. And Harry Haller is kind of a pedantic scholar. His human side is pedantic, scholarly, bookish type person, reads philosophy, reads very serious things, has very serious thoughts, and he's thinking, is it worth it? Is it worth to live? And she asks him, because, well, forget about it. Just drop all that stuff. Let's go dance. And he says, well, I don't dance. And she goes, well, that's your problem. You're going to say life's not worth living. Well, get out there. Start living it. And then at some point she asks his name. And he says, oh, it's Harry Haller. And they're talking for a while, and she says, okay, well, I'm going to go dance. And he's enjoying this conversation. He says, well, wait, are you going to come back? And they go back and forth. But there's such a great moment because she comes back from the dance floor and says that she's leaving with another person. And he says, I thought we were going to spend more time. And she goes, well, you didn't ask. And she points out and says, when I asked you what your name was, you didn't even have the courtesy to ask in return what my name was. It's so brilliant. So eventually, they agree the next day or whenever that they'll meet again, and we have this quaint extended portion where we have Harry Haller in his quarters dancing, and he's learning how to dance. He gets a gramophone, and he's in there practicing. They go out, and so we spend time with Harry Haller just learning how to dance and gaining his confidence, asking other people to dance. The woman's there. Then we have this musician character. He's a saxophone player. And after these dances, they would all sit down. And I was reading it and thinking, like, okay, like, we're spending a lot of time with Harry Haller just dancing. And then the end, which goes like full-blown bacchanalian, delirious nightmare vision craziness. I don't remember the specifics. I can't remember how we got there, but we're at some party, and then there's another after party, and there's drunkenness and either drug use or allusion to drug use, and supernatural things are coming into play. We go into the theater of the enchanted, and there's these doors that are portals, and Harry Haller is going through these doors and having these hallucinatory visions of alternate realities, and he's coming back in and going to the past and the future, and going to other universes, and it goes just completely bananas in the best way possible. I don't remember how it ends, actually. I mean, or as far as like the very last. What do you? Oh yeah, and he liked Mozart. Okay. I had a lot of fun. Reading this translation. Kurt Beale's translation just was terrific. I love the cover design as well. So let me know if you've read Steppenwolf, a different translation, this translation. Again, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment if you would like, and take care. Bye.